Well, hello, Leeds United fans. Listen, I'm sure you're bored of seeing my face. I can understand why. We've just literally done a Rangers preview for like tomorrow night, and some big news has come out, of which I was a little bit shocked by, but kind of not shocked by, and it really follows what we were speaking about earlier on today and what we've spoken about throughout the entire transfer period. Before we start the video, everybody, please make sure you like, comment and subscribe as always, and let's get into it. So, El Bobble, ELBOBBLE on Twitter and across the Everton sphere. I, believe it or not, know this from pretty much every source that I've worked with in the old journalism world, is pretty much nailed on Everton confirmation every single time he speaks on Twitter. He's just announced around about half an hour ago that Leeds are in talks with Everton for Willy Gnonto, or Everton are in talks with Leeds. Bit of an update there, because we thought initially that it was going to be someone from Italy, a team from Italy, but the valuation on the Italian side isn't big enough, isn't strong enough, isn't good enough for Leeds United, according to several sources. And Everton are now the front runners, are in conversation with Leeds, and this makes a lot of sense. Onana has been sold, or is about to be sold, to Aston Villa for 50 million quid, which means, believe it or not, Everton have come into quite a bit of money. So with Everton coming into quite a bit of money, it makes a lot more sense for them immediately. And when I say immediately, I mean this has turned around very, very quickly, and this is why football can be quite worrisome. It can be quite tedious. You know, you look at Crescencio, Somerville, you know, anything can happen. Anything happen. Mitoma from Brighton could go to Chelsea for 50 million quid, and then out of nowhere, with 3 or 4 days to go, Brighton just turn around and go, right, Leeds, we're offering you 35 million, 40 million quid for Somerville. And then Leeds are left with 2-3 days left of the window, accepting a bid for Somerville and scrambling round for cash. Interestingly enough, today, the training video, or the training pictures, there's been Grueff put out there, there's been Rutter, and there's been Somerville together. No Gnonto, but does that mean anything? Probably not. But you know, sometimes we take little snippets from these sorts of things, don't we? As the rain starts to pile down on my head, compiling the England misery and just the transfer misery which can happen in these sagas. Willy Gnonto, do I want him to leave? No, not at all. And now this is where it'll start happening, where, you know, Leeds fans, if you think this, absolutely fine, but when football fans in general start saying, oh, we never wanted to stick around anyway, invariably he's got a bad attitude, even though I think he has recovered, sacking his agent, which there's a lot of context behind that, but sacking his agent was a good move. There's only been one Premier League club really in for Willy Gnonto throughout this entire period, and it has been Everton. Now, there's, for example, there's murmurings on Twitter about certain valuation. Everton fans are a little bit disgruntled at the fact that they're probably going to have to pay more than 20 million quid, but will they pay more than 20 million quid? We don't know how this is going to go now. Will the 49ers reduce the fee a little bit because of, you know, the season that he's had, which does that mirror 20-25 million quid with what he's done this season? No. But then the ceiling, the potential for Willy Gnonto at such a ripe young age is still very, very high. Did he do it in the Premier League? There's a conversation there. I still thought when we were in the Premier League, we can talk about goals and assists, I still think he was our most dangerous player by a country mile. So that's definitely something to take into consideration. You know, the Man United goal was just a little sort of snippet into how good he can be, but I do wonder how this is going to pan out if he does go to Everton. You know, there's McNeil there, there's Harrison, who are very Sean Dyche wingers. Where does Willy Gnonto fit into that? You know, we saw Dan Juma in the mix last season. Okay, maybe not an out-and-out winger. You know, inverted, can play cam as well. Maybe that figured into Dyche's thinking a bit, in almost like a 4-4-2 consistently. But this is where I wonder with Willy, where will he fit in? And is he all right just to maybe challenge Jack and challenge McNeil for a starting place, maybe? But it's going to be interesting to see how that dynamic works. But El Bobble is pretty much everybody, nailed on source, up there with some of the best Everton sources really. And that's that I can say that for a fact. So this is definitely happening. He's definitely in contact with Everton right now. We know there's going to be a fee probably discussed in around the 20 to 25 million pound margin. Is that enough? Are you a little bit disappointed with that? I don't know if I'm disappointed with it. We all sort of knew it was going to happen, but I think it's more like how much we've seen Kamara, and I don't know, I thought like with that sort of Avenger structure that we kind of have in this division, there's Rutter, there's Somerville, there's Gnonto. I just wonder like how far this will go and how much Leeds will have to do. That's my little worry with it all, because we all know right now we need to, obviously when it comes to the sustenance of the bench, it's very, very thin right now. You know, we've seen Cresswell go, Shackleton's gone. I'm not saying they're good enough, and they are gutting the squad completely here. Cooper has gone, obviously Alien's gone from last season, Dallas has gone, Jaden Anthony's gone back on loan, Connor Roberts has gone back. It's a real change. Archie's obviously gone. So we're looking at a real churn in the squad right now. And I think we've got to look at that really, and we've got to look at how much Leeds are actually gonna do. I thought Gnonto would be here next season. I genuinely did. I don't know why. I just thought maybe Everton wouldn't come in for him with the wingers that they've got. But now the Onana money is there, or is at least promised. That's 50 million quid, and that definitely gives you enough capital to do maybe, you know, if you scout incorrectly, 2 centre midfielders or a centre midfielder, and definitely a winger from the lower division. So yeah, it makes sense with Everton. So yeah, El Bobble, everybody. If you don't follow him on Twitter, make sure you do so. He's up there with Alan Myers when it comes to Everton news, which is top tier basically. And yeah, it looks like they're in contact with Leeds United right now with a deal for Willy Gnonto. And as I say, I'm not upset so much about the Willy Gnonto deal as such. I think I'm just a little bit worried about the churn. As I say, I didn't expect Kamara to be leaving. That is now done. I'm getting told by some people on the videos to stop talking about Kamara, even though Kamara is getting done now. So when it's relative, why would I stop talking about him? We have to talk about the fee. We have to talk about the player who's leaving and what we need to replace. Let's get brains engaged here. So I didn't expect him to leave. Archie was probably, I thought, 60 not 40. You know, he was going to go. So there's a lot here. You know, I think the problem is maybe the primary focus before the window was that Leeds were going to lose. I don't know. I guess I personally thought Rodon wasn't going to come back, and we would have lost Somerville. That's what I thought was going to happen. We're looking at a scenario now where Leeds have potentially going to lose, because I think we've just got to keep an eye on Somerville. He's still very, very vulnerable. Somerville, Gnonto, Kamara, Archie, and others. And yeah, I just think we've got to be. I understand getting rid. I understand getting capital, but you know, we need to replace with real quality, and we need to beef out that squad. We have to do. So how are you guys feeling on it now? I don't think it's the isolation of the transfer. I mean, he's not gone yet, but the isolation of just Willy Gnonto leaving in general isn't like a massive surprise. But as I've mentioned before, key players leaving the club. Kamara, Archie, Willy Gnonto, who, yes, didn't have the best season last season, but you know he's a quality player and would work for us in the Prem. And potentially Somerville as well, you just always know he's going to be vulnerable until the last day of the transfer window. All going. And I say all going, Willy's not gone yet. Willy Gnonto's not gone yet. I mean, Kamara's not even confirmed yet, but we know Kamara's gone. The players agreed. Ren have agreed to sign him, Leeds have agreed to sell him. But Gnonto, I think in the context of everything else that's going on at the minute, I'd just like to see some movement from Leeds. I think it's the stipulation now. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you a little bit worried? Is it good that we're getting rid of these fringe players? And as I say, El Bobble is pretty much nailed on transfer content when it comes to Everton, and he said Leeds and Everton are in negotiation right now. Let me know what you think, everybody, in the comment section below. Check out the video from earlier on, the Rangers preview and discussion on Brendan Aronson from this morning. See you in a bit.